Hey guys, State Zahner here from Bonsai Apprentice, and today we're going to be checking out some trees that I haven't worked on. Most of them are brand new, and we're just going to get into it. Before that though, if you haven't checked out my GoFundMe video, please do. Please like, share, subscribe, support my channel. The sooner I can get to Japan and start working on trees, the sooner I can make better content and start teaching the things I learn and sharing that with you guys. So there'll be a tag. Please check it out. Please share. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, it's a little windy out, but hopefully you can still hear me. So this is my one of my Japanese maples. Now this tree is about 4 feet tall. But what I really like about it is that it's got all these seeds at the top. And so this year, I'm really just growing it out to get those seeds, be able to collect them this fall so I can start growing this tree in spring, get a whole bunch of seedlings, get those going. Because I really like seedlings, they're fun. As you can see from my other videos, I do them a lot. Now, as you get lower, this trunk line, if I can get a better view of it, there we go, is pretty decent. And it's pretty thick. I mean, when we come down here, it's 3 finger thick, which is pretty decent size, about 1.5 inches. But the leaves are down below are really small. And so I think as this tree ramifies and, you know, gets more branches, when I actually make it into a bonsai, that we will get really nice compact foliage on it and a pretty decent leaf size. Now, what I'm doing with this tree is I'm waiting till basically next year, and I'm going to take most of these bigger branches as air layers and then most of it also as a cutting. And I'm going to basically bring it back to about here, air layer this top off, try and make a multi-trunk, split trunk tree out of it. Keep this nice leader right here, this one right here, keep this leader, air layer that off. And then all these other branches that are too long, I'll cut back to the first inner node and then make these cuttings and see how many I can get come spring. I think this tree will be really good for all of that. It's not really one I'm looking to make into a bonsai per se, but it's one that is going to be used to cultivate other bonsai that I want to make. So that's all I'm really planning with this tree, nothing big. So on to the next one. Now, keeping with the theme of Japanese maple, this is one that I got earlier this late spring, and they got this beautiful bright green coming out on the branches from all of the new leaves. Now, this tree got pretty sunburnt, and I had to go and cut off all the burnt leaves. So it's kind of in recovery mode, but this tree is kind of the same thing as the other tree. I'm going to try and air layer these top ones off, but down here is a really nice compact top, and the trunk line is about 2 fingers thick, but it's got some nasty scars on it, so I'm hoping that those heal up nice. But like I said, there's only so much you can do. And so I'll probably make this trunk line the leader, use this and air layer these off. But we will see come spring next year what to do with this tree. It's pretty dense, pretty compact, and it's got really pretty leaves, and they're really tight. So it's going to make a good bonsai in the future, I believe. But like I said, it's just a waiting game with this tree for it to get healthy again, get all its new leaves back, grow for the season. We'll get it in the pot, another pot. We'll air layer it. We'll do what we need to and start ramifying this tree really, really well. Now, the last deciduous tree that I have is this wisteria vine. Now, I got this earlier this spring, and I wasn't sure what to do with it. Hi, Ruru. And so I just let it flower. And as you can see, I have old flowers that are coming out. And I'm just waiting to see what this tree does. I'm not eager to go and start chopping all this off. I want it to gain vigor, grow healthy, and just see what I can do with it come this fall. And see where the buds are, and see what this structure really looks like at the end of the growing season this year. Like I said, I'm not eager to go in and chop this out and make it nice and neat, because I'm not really sure what all is going on inside. And I'm gonna probably have to go pretty far back to make this really what I want it to be, because some of these branches are just intertwined in there, some of those big ivies. And so I think I'm going to have to come back and really make some hard cuts and decisions on this tree. And I'm just not going to do that with summer right around the corner and when I'm experimenting and seeing what it's going to do on its own. So I'm just going to let it keep growing and see. I cut off 2 of the vines. There's 1, there's 2. And we're going to see if I can't get these to be cuttings. I think they might go, they might not go. We'll just have to see. Like I said, I'm just toying with this and working with it a little bit. So on to the next one. We're going to go check out a pine. All right, and we're back. So I have this Japanese white pine. Now this says 144. I didn't get it for that because the top is dead. So, and I've cut off this branch. It was way too long and just making that inverse taper go. So this tree is fine. It's actually going to be my next video. I'm just going to do some basic wiring and, you know, put this into a little bit more shape and a little bit more motion into it and see what I can do with this tree. I think, you know, it's kind of bland right now. I think if anything, I'm going to make something like this the front and just take this branch over, bring this branch up there so we can start getting that, you know, formal upright white pine look. I don't think I could do anything too dramatic with this tree at the moment. As you can see, it had some, you know, some of these 2nd and 3rd year needles are dying. You can see the candle growth from the years. So 1st year, 2nd year, this year. So all this back here is going to die by the end of the season. So I'm not too worried about it. You know, I should probably go through a needle pluck. These are all growing downwards anyways, but I wasn't quite sure before I was going to wire it and move it where some of those were going to end up. So that's going to be this tree. It's going to be my next video. It's going to come out basically a couple days after this one because this tree just, it needs it. It's, you know, these big candles are just flopping and I really want to start to utilize them photosynthetically, and they're starting to get woody. So I think it's a good time right now to wire this tree and get it really, really going because it needs some love, and I think just giving it that extra little boost right now is going to make it a better tree in the future. But it won't be anything dynamic. It won't be anything too crazy. You know, there's not a ton on this tree right now, but we will get it worked and get it in shape and just give it a basic working and trim. So on to the very last one. All right, and we are back. Now this right here, this big boy, is a Virginia Blue Owl Juniper. Yeah, it's got a lot. But what I really like about this tree is the trunk line is just gorgeous. It's very dynamic. It's got a lot of small branches, a lot of big branches. So I'm really excited for this tree. Now, it's in this big black pot. Not ideal. I have a brick there because it was wiggling loose just a little bit and I didn't like that. But I think honestly at this point, let's see here. Yeah, not too bad right now. So I probably will take that off. But what I really like about this tree is that trunk line. You can even see it in here. It's just absolutely stunning. And the bark just is coming right off. Now, this tree, when I got it, I immediately put it in this pot. And the reason I haven't done anything with it is because it didn't have a massive root ball. And most of it was just in not good shape. And when I do a video, I'm going to wire this up and make a video out of it. And I want to do some dynamic stuff with this tree because it's a dynamic tree to begin with. And I'll show you what soil it was in. Right now it's in pumice and akadama with a little bit of perlite just to give it a little bit more airiness to it. But what I really want to do is wire this tree out, shari and gin the crap out of it, and just make this a play tree. And even though I repotted it about 3 weeks ago now, this tree has put on substantial growth. So you can see last year's woody growth. This year it had up to about there. And since I repotted it, we've gotten all this new laggy growth. So this tree is in good health across the board, and lots of foliage density, obviously, and I'm gonna have to go in and remove and do some of that, but I'm not gonna do it right now. And I'm gonna go through too and cut off all these berries that are growing on it, just because that's gonna sap the energy from this tree, and it's gonna need it to recover after I wire, charge, and all of it. But yeah, this pot, it's not gonna stay in here, but I didn't have anything else for it. Obviously it's, you know, way too big for this trunk, but I didn't have another pot that I was gonna put it in that was a reasonable size that I think it would recover as well in. So I'm gonna have to play with the front, tilting this pot and getting it going, because this pot, you know, in a year and a half it's gonna get repotted into a manageable pot for this size. And so, you know, the depth's pretty decent for, you know, the tree, I think, but what we really need is something a lot shorter. So I'll be on the lookout for a pot that can do that. But like I said, right now, this is my last one, and it's going to get worked just like my Japanese maple. I mean, not the Japanese maple, the Japanese pine, the white pine. And we will have a video on this one too. All right, guys, so that was all my trees that I haven't worked yet. And this finishes the collection. You have seen every tree that I have. Now, I have some accent plants we will talk about later, as they, you know, that's not really something that I'm eager to show at the moment. But we will have a video on that white pine, and we'll have a video on the juniper, which I'm gonna do probably later this week. Honestly, it's gonna be nice weather. I'm looking forward to it, and I've seen health in both of those trees, so I'm excited for that, and I hope you stick around to see it. If you like this video, please comment, share, subscribe, and check out my GoFundMe video. It really will help. I'm trying to go in October, and if all goes according to plan, it'll be really dope for me to go. But I need some help with that and some love. Due to COVID, I, you know, didn't have a job like many Americans, and things, you know, I had to dip into savings and whatnot. So I'm praying that y'all can help and give me some love. And at the end of the day, it'll work out in the end. So I hope you can still hear me with this wind blowing, but I hope you all have a good day. And as always, sayonara.